All right, that's on. We are live, and I tweeted out, so you should be able to check that and then see it if it's okay. There we go. And all right, wait, let me check this. And I'm going to bring you in now. I am A. You are B. Welcome. All right, we have
Hello.
Mr. Apothecary here today. So I'm going to live stream. This is his Iron Warrior model, and I'm going to do a paint over, and he may paint or chat or whatever. So we're just trying things out. And I think today I'm in 1080, so the quality should be better because it was driving me insane when I was looking at it online. I think we're all live. Yep, stream seems to
Oh,
be
yeah.
up.
I keep looking under my camera.
Yeah, I'm not used to. I'm like, that's what too. Like, it's not no camera on my face yet because I'm looking between like the three devices and everything. I'm like, okay, I gotta get one, another camera to position with this. So
Oh.
one day I'll get there. And hey, Wolf Lord, thanks for joining us.
Wolf Lord, hello.
Yeah, 1080. So it's working, and I'm all wired in. So if like the phone's falling or something and pulling it out, you know what happened. I have the everything wired up here. All right. I started to erase this one a little earlier because I was like, well, it's the most boring live stream when I just erase. And that's half the reason I'm like, I'll invite someone on and then they can kill the dead space.
I'm just a fill. I'm just filling, aren't I? I'm filling in. I'm here.
No, it's a cool mini too. And I was like, oh, I want to have them on. You can talk about, how it worked, how you painted it. It looks really cool. Nice lighting on the photo too. I like, I like that, in the photos for paint overs, they have like you have shadow on his legs and there's shadow on like this part right here, and that it works really well in paint overs because I can like locate the light and play into it when I do something with it.
Ah, right. Okay. Oh, that's really cool. It's just. I mean, I've got a standard sort of light box.
Yep.
Um, I've also got the ring light. So if when it's in the light box, if the lighting's not the way I like it, I can
Yeah.
bring my ring light in. Sometimes even put the like the torch just on my phone on to give it that
Yeah. Yeah. I could see
feel.
that.
Um, I think it just depends on like the model when I'm taking the picture.
Hmm.
I like to make sure that the picture I take is a good representation of the model.
Yep. I can
So
totally understand that.
yeah.
The I see. I haven't even painted one yet. Well, besides like I don't even know, 30 years ago. But the and that was the other thing. I'm like, oh man, if I paint stuff, I bought a ring light because I'm like, well, I'll use it for other things too. Because I'm like, then I got a photograph of, that's a whole other thing. It's like, okay, if I paint one, I'll probably want to photograph it, and then so it's like, okay, get that stuff, and yeah, so I'm trying to paint one here soon enough. Yeah, everyone does such cool, like they're so inspiring. I see everyone's models and like everyone's just trying crazy color combos, and it amazes me that I'll just mostly on Twitter, is where I scan a lot, but it's just like just new thing after new thing that's cool constantly.
I mean, for me, it's like I caught one of your these paint overs live before, so it's I find it really interesting to like watch how you do this. Like to me, this is like utter magic.
See, I would never think. I didn't think when I started. I'm like, who's gonna care? I'm like, you're just using some model and scruffing it around. So I didn't think. I'm like, I don't. Who's even. I just did it because I liked it. I was like, oh, let me try something with these, and I don't have miniatures. I haven't played with them in forever. So I'm like, let me try something, and then, so it was cool just to find out that other people are into like just seeing the environment or whatever. And I always
Mm.
laugh because I don't have like it's just making it up as you go along. Like I just started doing these. I'm like, okay, it's Procreate, so I wasn't used to it, and I have some art talent or whatever. but I never did this type of like photo stuff, you know. And so I always laugh. I watch it and I watch it in replay. It's like you'll see me try stuff and then wipe it out, try stuff, wipe it out. And I'm like, oh man, as like a mini painter, you don't have that like luxury, you know.
No, no, you don't. Sometimes it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit frustrating sometimes, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I've made those mistakes in the past where there's a part of the model that's supposed to be black and it's ended up with a great big smudge of um, white over it or something, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh no. It's why I always tend to keep like a clean brush nearby,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
just so I can straighten the water and wipe it off as
Yeah. See, and
quickly
that's
as
the
I
type of thing I was
can.
like, I'll have some people over and they can give me some tips on that kind of stuff too. But that's a good one.
So is this obviously? So you're covering up the background now.
I'm actually just erasing it right now.
Yeah.
So I'm getting just this model by itself. And that's why I usually ask for white background, because with the other tool, I can kind of automatically select a lot closer. It still leaves like a
Yeah.
1 or 2 pixel line around it that you have to erase, which I hate, but that's life. And
To be honest,
so
dude, I've never noticed.
and so like, you know, you're doing, I'm like, all right, but I usually try to start these live streams out with it because for me it's actually like therapeutic a little. It's like start on some task to get my mind. It's hard for me to speak and draw at the same time sometimes. Like cuz
Mm,
I'm used to always focusing and I never like talk to anyone while drawing. So my mind would be only preoccupied with the drawing. And so that was part of this of like practice is like okay, get used to, you know, speaking and drawing at the same time.
yeah. I think when I started doing it, I had the same issue. Like this, I still have it now. Like there's um certain points of my painting techniques that I just can't talk when I'm
Yeah.
doing it.
Okay,
Line
interesting.
highlights. I can't. Like I stopped the stream the other night because it was like, okay, guys, I'm gonna have to stop it there. I'm gonna be doing the edge highlighting. I'm not gonna be talking. No one wants to watch that.
Yeah, that's
Um,
all right. So good to know that's not the I'm not the only one who that affects.
you're not the only one. Loads of streamers do it. Loads of YouTubers do it, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone does it.
I'm like, wow. I'll get to some like it'll be like when I have the background in and I'm trying to get like the another level of lighting and I'm trying to figure out what's coming from here and with this and with that. And when I'm trying to think of like those things, and then if I had to speak, it's like forget it. I won't be able to like think my way through it.
Mm. No, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, definitely.
What are you working on now?
I'm just trying. I'm just tidying up some of these blade guard. I started them on Saturday. They're part of my a bundle from my sponsor,
Okay.
and I promised I was going to get them finished, and I just unfortunately they've taken a bit longer. I made a few mess ups the other day, which
Mhm.
unfortunately I couldn't repair with a standard clean brush. So I'm just going over some bits.
All right, cool.
Um, but I can still talk and I can see the chat as well. So
I know. I forgot. I just looked up because I haven't checked the chat, and I'm just like, uh oh. We got
Rob,
5 viewers,
Rob,
so
Rob
I'm
Lewis.
surprised.
I wish I was that good at taking photos and had a light box. Light box is coming. They come in a lot of handy, Lewis. I was taking pictures for I couldn't go back like so many years taking pictures without a light box, and now I'm taking them with a light box, and it's like I could never go back. This is too awesome. My miniatures actually look nice. Um, so yeah, but it's lighting. That's all it is. It's all about the lighting. Um, and just it doesn't matter whether you take one picture and it's like, oh, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah.
Whether you paint like 20 pictures, take 20 pictures. Sorry, you'll always get the right one eventually.
You know
Um,
what? That's kind of true because even I have limited experience taking pictures, but for my purposes, and it's like I've had ones where I've like I look at them like you take a bunch and then you don't even realize you took one you liked till like after, when you're staring at them all.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that. I took 20, I think 25 pictures
Yeah.
of Chapter Master that you did the paint over for.
Yeah. Okay.
And out of the 25, there was one I took by accident. And I was like, oh, that's really good. Oh, I like that. Oh, we'll keep that one. And we got rid of and I got rid of the rest.
Yeah. When
Happy accidents.
when you this mini, what did you start by like a black? I assume, right? You primed it black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started with a black and then went over it with lead belcher.
Oh, Martin, thanks for joining us. Sorry, keep going. I interrupted you by
No, you're all
something.
right. No. Hi, Martin. Don't know why I did the funny voice. Sorry.
You're
I always end
allowed.
up doing funny voices. Yeah, and then it's lead belcher and a wash of null oil.
Okay. The
And
old no.
then what was it then? Then I started doing the um, hazard stripes, which I ended up
Okay.
doing with a pen instead of a brush.
Oh, all right.
Because it was a heck of a lot easier. I was like, really, really nervous about doing the hazard stripes, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. At that
The-
scale and how tiny they are, that would be tough.
mm, I was trying to replicate it from a picture that I've got of an Iron Warrior, and he's got hazard stripes on the knee, which you can't actually see from the picture. So it's the knee, the gun, and the shoulder pad.
Yep.
Um, and the knee, strangely enough, even though it's the smaller part um, to work on, was actually the easiest. Strangely enough, the shoulder pad was the one that gave me the most difficulty.
Okay. Interesting.
Um,
And
but
I've
yeah,
been talking to you, and I haven't even thought of what I'm going to do for this paint over. So now I'm like, oh boy, I'm like, such is life. Oh,
I don't know now. Now you've said it, and I'm not sure. Funny voices are my jam. I start my Iron Warriors out with army paint, a gunmetal base coat, then blocking the stripes, and then
I
it's
know.
trip to Wash City. Yeah, Martin. Yeah, that's how we go.
That's
Trip
what,
to
and
Wash
that's
City.
the other thing. I do the voice thing too. I used to like you'd have a couple friends and we would draw, like especially younger, and that's all we would do was like say stupid things while drawing, or you know what I mean. We would just babble, and so I
Yeah.
was like, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be like live stream and bust out some dorky voice at some point.
Oh, I've done what have I done now? Smeagol. mid pain, my process
Well,
midstream, and,
that's a
and I
good
just
one.
end up looking up at the camera like, oh, I really just did that. Oh, I'm really sorry, guys, but everyone's laughing. So
Yeah, hey, that's it. It's like have some fun. Wolf Lord Lewis. I haven't done any hazard stripes, and that's probably a good thing from what I
probably a
hear.
good
Hey, I
thing.
haven't either. So there, we got that in common.
Yeah, they are. They're like I. Growing up, I always felt like they were the one thing that showed you were the ultimate hobbyist is if you
If
can pull off
okay,
hazard
got you.
stripes. Just because like this they're so like difficult to do.
Does anybody does anybody try to mask the area with like tape or anything? Is anyone? I don't even know if anyone's doing all that. I'm like, I could see people trying because we try to do these tiny hazard stripes. Like, I'm gonna mask it.
Yeah, I've heard of a lot of people that mask their models,
Yeah.
but particularly on the larger things like tanks and dreadnoughts and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that I can see. That makes sense.
So, it's the size of the curved surface, to be honest. I painted stripes on loads of armor panels now, and it's always the way. It never feels like you get straight lines. No, no, it doesn't at all. I completely agree with you there, Martin. I had to stop and like readjust my hand fingers, and you may think it's cheating, but the pen itself, just to get the right angle for the curvature. It was a bizarre feeling, I must admit. Norse Earth, my dudes, as it's how I get the wind worn effect on mine. Washers, I mean, washers are one of those things, Lois. Like, I know there's many people don't use them, and then there's some of us that just overuse them. But these come out looking so good.
I figured pick the color that you already had in here and play into it.
Awesome. I'm really looking forward to this. So I did the basing is based, if I can get this right, get me words out. Parama 5, I believe. So it was a battle during the Horus Heresy.
Okay.
Mechanicum World, I think it's Mechanicum World. But the Alpha Legion was sent by Horus to capture it with some Dark Mechanicum.
Okay.
And while they were doing their sneaking, trying to make their way onto the planet covertly, the 77th Grand Battalion of the Iron Warriors turned up and kind of put a kibosh on everything. So what was supposed to be a short crusade or a short campaign ended up as a year-long grind, if I remember rightly.
Okay. I'm so out of the loop with like lore, so it's great. I've talked to a couple people, and it's like it catches me up. I'm like, all right, I can do a paint over, I can get caught up on all the good stuff, and still be productive and help my YouTube channel. I'm like, all right, we can do this.
Oh, dude, you ever want me around just to talk law? I mean, totally. I could literally sit around and talk law all day long.
Mine kind of all taps out around second. You know, I've kept up like a little bit, like even for years on and off. I'd buy like a white dwarf or something, you know, and just try to check out what was going on. But you know, like as far as deep dive or anything, not at all. You know, I just now started listening to a couple more books and stuff. Oh yeah, 9 viewers. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Hey, hello everyone.
Combine these. And I'll drag some of that around.
Next time I do any form of video chats with you lot, Discord or otherwise, I'll have to bring a couple of friends. Ooh, intentional mystery there, Martin. Ooh. Bring it more. We want more.
And then for anyone watching, like we've never even really, I mean, what on Twitter? We've only tweeted each other, and I like this model, and I'm like, hey, do you want? I'm like, I saw he did it before, and I saw one of his streams. So I'm like, you want to join us? And it's like, join me. So I like just sent him an invite. So we never even talked before, like whatever, half hour ago or something.
Yeah, I literally like just finished my tea and picked up my phone. I'm like, oh, I have a message. Like I click, like, oh, yeah, totally up for that. To the painting room, go.
Yeah, that worked out well.
Oh, it did, yeah, definitely. I tried masking the front door of my Vindicator, but it didn't work too well. Ooh, what went wrong, Martin? Free-handed it. Funny voices as well. Just heavily, sorry. I just wash heavily in Nuln oil, then dry brush on Fenrisian grey. So, to be honest, Lewis, I do pretty much the same thing with my 13th Company. I used to paint them in Dawnstone and then give them a heavy wash of Nuln oil. And then I found the magic that is Poundland Grey Primer, which is pretty much the same color, and did the same thing. Just sprayed them all grey primer and wash with Nuln oil, and they come out perfect Horus Heresy grey. It's spot on every time.
Oh, I love the Horus Heresy. I love the Forge World minis for it. You know, who's the it's the yellow ones. The Iron Fists with the shields they often have, and they're all yellow or whatever. Like I love the 30K shielded miniatures, man. I just love the look of those things. I want shields and back banners like on all my guys. Like that's all my army. You're gonna know I roll out when everyone has a shield, and it's gonna be like an AE logo on the shield and then an AE logo on the banner.
That's how I roll.
Army of bannered psychos.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. I'd love that. Like everything just comes out of a Land Raider. You know, boarding rams come down, bolters at the ready. Oh no, that's not going to help because they're all carrying great big slab shields. Yeah, I do. I think personally, I like there's like I can't pick one legion from the Heresy that I like above all. Well, no, that's a lie. Actually, I love the Space Wolves. Let's face it.
Okay, see, me too. That was my original army and whatever. Like, that's the ones I loved, you know.
It's the best legion, dude. You can't go wrong. But I have got a bit of a fascination when it comes to like the loyalist elements within the traitors as well, because there's just so much to them, so much more character.
Yeah, they layered them. They layered them pretty good like that, you know.
Yeah, and all the troubles they went through, like it shows that these Space Marines they're not infallible. They are, in fact, partly human, you know. And I like some of the fact that some of the later books make a lot of reference to that as well. So I get a lot of enjoyment out of them for that purpose. But that's pretty much where the inspiration for the model that you're currently doing the paint over came from. That and an unhealthy obsession with autocannons.
This model's great. That's not an added, that came on the miniature, correct?
The autocannons Forge World piece,
okay.
And the rest of it is actually from one of the plastic Mark III kits.
Oh wow! Okay. Yeah,
I have.
It's a great photo angle too.
Well, like I said, there is actually a picture online. It's from the Black Books themselves, from the Heresy Black Books, and it is just. Oh, excuse me.
You or me?
That's me. Excuse me.
No worries. It adds excitement. If I could do this right, I could mute the mic, but I'm not that good of a host yet. So no muted mic. Next one, I believe. Death Watch troopers who gave up their original chapters too. Interesting. See, that's like, yeah, that's a lot of stuff I don't know. It's interesting to get caught up on. 10 viewers. Thank you very much. Here, I have to self-promote now because I put these little pop-up things on. So I have to abuse them and try them out. What else on my Facebook?
Oh, sorry, baking disaster.
No, that do not burn everything down for a live stream, my friend.
It's not me. It's not me.
All right.
Hearing me. Really, really sorry about that.
Oh no, that don't matter. I couldn't see, if I was a better host, I could have muted it, but I didn't even know where the mute button was for your mic yet, even though I know there is one. I was like, oh.
I went in and I'm like, how do I mute? And I couldn't find the mute.
It doesn't matter.
Like, gotta go.
It makes it exciting. All right.
I'm looking to the chat now to see like who picked up on that. No. Fiery Doom. Yeah, Fiery Doom.
See, it's nice having someone on too, because I'm not caught up on the lore. So it's like good to have someone who is, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, because it catches me up, and then other people, it's like, all right, I like that about it too.
Yeah, it's one thing that I definitely kept up to date with over the years. I started in the hobby when I was 8, and my mother used to leave me in the local shop, reading codexes.
Oh yeah, that's customer for life there. If your parents did that to you, that's what it is.
So yeah, I kind of grew up reading a lot of the lore, and I mean, I'm heavily dyslexic, so reading for me was always a problem. But with Warhammer, it was because I had such an interest in it. I tried harder.
Yeah. That's a good hobby. That's a good quote for Warhammer. They'll be like, look, man, We were even helping dyslexic people want it so bad to deal with it.
I want to know more. I'm going to
Yeah,
try hard, but it's a subconscious thing, and I didn't even know about this until like I was older.
gotcha.
Uh, that it's actually a subconscious thing that dyslexic people can do when they're interested in something. They force themselves
Yeah,
to read more. And my dad taught me how to read with the likes of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
and
yeah, that's some hardcore English as well.
yeah, like I'm reading fantasy and I'm reading sci-fi, and yeah, let's just carry on like that. Um, although like I've missed a couple. I started with third edition. Um,
Okay.
I'm kind of missed eighth for personal reasons. It kind of passed me by.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why I'm saying personal reasons. It's not a hidden fact. I had a mental breakdown,
Gotcha.
so wasn't in the right frame of mind. So eighth sort of passed me by, and then
Yeah,
I saw all the updates for ninth, and I was in a lot better place. And it was like I am so back in. Like
oh,
you've
good.
not lost me. I'm back.
Yeah, it's been a lot. I think I second is like the last one I really played, and then maybe like I played one like a friend who played. I played maybe a game of like sixth or something with them. I think there was like a big edition around sixth. I literally
Yeah,
like played like one little skirmish, and then that was it. Like I think with another friend a couple years back, I played a couple games of War Machine, which was kind of cool. Like the way the fights played out was interesting. But like the thing is, like 40K, I've always loved the world. You know what I mean? It's just like once you get sucked into the whole aesthetic of it and all that stuff, I love it.
oh yeah. Once you're in, that's it. You're in. Um, I think that's the fact that they obviously more recently have developed some of the story has been a good thing for a
Yeah.
lot of people. Although yes, I understand there's some upset, and I understand why around like okay, so Chaos actually won. They finally won, and even as a Space Marine player, I'm quite happy at that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is grim dark. So I don't even, I'm always just like, I just go with the flow with everything. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm like, hey, it's like this whole thing could play out any which way.
Yeah, well, exactly, and it's like I don't know. I know there was a lot of people kind of, oh, here's your concession prize, and we got Primaris, which
Hmm.
granted I am painting Primaris. Wasn't a fan of when they first came out,
And see,
but
so I get it. It's weird. Like I was just maybe Necromunda is when I really started. The new Necromunda is when I started like checking out more stuff, and then of course I seen the Primaris. I'm like, okay, they're obviously it's like trying to not reformat it, but take it to a new place. You know what I mean? The
yeah,
company's probably trying to grow and wanting to do stuff, and I was like, I don't know. They the aesthetic changed to me a little bit in that it's more actiony and like how they design it is like it's not the old like I think of the again the like the Forge World 30K all the ornate kind of stuff in that it seems like they're shifting a little forward and
yeah,
then but I kind of like it. I'm like, okay, I get it, and I like the sculpts that are coming out. You know what I mean? And so part of me is like, oh man, I still want to see more of the old type stuff like that. But then I also like I kind of dig what they're doing with some of these new things, and so I'm like, all right, the sculpts come out sharp, and they're a little because of the figure size now. They're getting a little more motion into the figures and stuff. So I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool.
yeah. They're also a lot. I mean, like I said, I wasn't a fan of Primaris when they first came out. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of change, to be fair.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
say it. So when
Especially
they
when you
came
get
out,
all
I was like,
attached to something,
no,
it's like,
no,
oh no.
Primaris are wrong. They are, they are an
Yeah.
abomination. And then I painted one as a test model, and then I painted one as a commission for a friend,
Mm-hmm.
and then I painted another and another, and yeah, now I really like them. They're a lot easier to paint.
Oh,
I
are
can,
they?
yeah, they are actually because the size different.
Oh, okay.
I
That
can
makes
knock
sense.
out. I can batch paint 5 Primaris quicker than I can batch paint 5 Firstborn.
Oh,
It's a bit,
okay.
yeah, it's kind of, it's weird, but I like, at the same time I like it and enjoy it. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I moved into doing Primaris finally.
Yeah.
And they're kind of they're supposed to be like the new kids on the block, but the model range is quite nice.
The one guy with the shield with the skeleton on it, like I just love it. I'm like, all right, that's the ones I'm like, all right, there's and I get it like from a design side when you're trying something, and they gotta like build all the figures and like years ahead of time and all that. So it's just like to get it all right. And it's cool when I see like the releases where I'm like, okay, that one really fits with what I'm thinking. I didn't much. Those vehicles losing tracks, I was like, oh, a Rhino was such it's like almost iconic vehicle to me. You know what I mean? It was like I think
Yeah,
40K and Rhino, and then like when they change it, it's like okay, like I get it, but I still love a Rhino. Like I'll still make squads with Rhinos.
yeah, I've got six
Oh
Rogue Trader
wow.
era rhinos kicking around, and I wouldn't be without them. I really wouldn't. All right, what's? I'm sorry. I'm just gonna look at the comments here.
Yeah, please do because I didn't even look over there for a while. I gotta.
So Martin says, and as for autocannons, yes, hard munition all round for my Iron Warriors. Got a 10-man Havoc squad with autocannons and a Leviathan with twin Storm autocannons in a pile. Oh, Martin, you're gonna make me drool. I have a really unhealthy fascination with autocannons, mate, and that sounds like part of my dream list. Does that 10 Iron Havocs and a Leviathan? Oh yeah. Wait, fiery. That's an actual word, face palm. Yes, it is. I'm sorry, Martin, but that is a very real word. I love the stupid bits of law like Commissar Cyphers Kane. Yeah, I started reading the Cyphers Kane novels and I just couldn't get into them. Really
Yeah.
couldn't. I prefer Gaunt's Ghosts. I really do. Because out of all the lore I know about commissars and the killing people for mutiny and back talking and stuff like that, it's nice to have a difference. Like Gaunt is not your usual commissar, and I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Lewis, Wolflord Lewis says I started in 8th, so I'm new to the lore. There's so many.
Yeah, but
so
he already
many.
knows. I talked to him on the other chat. He already like knows more than me with all the new stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, I'm like, man, I'm way behind.
I mean, this is it. I mean, you don't have to have a complete and utter in-depth knowledge of the lore to play the game.
No,
Let's
and
face
I
it.
think that's what I like about it is because it makes the world that much more vast where you don't even get it all. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I don't fit. It's like it makes it like fit in the world. It's like they don't know what's going on in their world, so I don't know either.
I like it because I think some people still, even 10 years on, don't realize that there's so much scope within the law
Mm-hmm.
for so much. Like you see all these homebrew chapters and you read the law and
Yeah, I love the homebrew
they're so
stuff.
out there. But then when you psychoanalyze that law and you pick it apart and you go, okay, well, that is actually feasible in the 40K universe. There is a massive loophole to fit into this event. Oh,
Yeah.
and they work with that. And I love that. I love the fact that the sky is literally the limit with 40K law because there's so many loopholes.
It was
It's
it was such
great.
a brilliant. That's what it is, and it gives people all that room to express their creativity. And it's like that's what I dig about it. Like I see, like I wasn't really like quote unquote into the community, but then I just started seeing the miniatures, and I was like, when I bought Necromunda because I was on Twitter, I started looking around, and I was like, oh, I started seeing more and more stuff, and all the pictures coming out, and like you see everyone from photography to you name it, the paint jobs to making videos to streaming it. There's like so many different ways people they're making their own rule books and everything. I'm like, oh, I dig it.
Yeah. Sorry, Martin's just said, I also started back in 3rd, didn't really ever learn to play, but decided 9th would be my point. I went for it, and then lockdown happened. Like the week I was going to play my first game. Oh, dude, that's harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've played about 3 games of 9th. And that's it. It was literally like I've played the 3 games, and since then I think I've had a skirmish of sorts with someone in our mental health support bubble, and that's it. Like that's I'm ready to play an actual game now. It's like, can we please have some sort of safe way of playing
Yeah.
uh, Warhammer so we can get these games? Because there's so many people out there that they need this hobby and the social interaction, and those games. Just without them, you feel a bit lost, like there's something missing.
That was one thing. Like, that's kind of how it was with all the lockdown. I was like just doing this. And I'm like, okay, just the little interaction stuff. Like, all right, you're around someone, even if it's digitally. It's like, hey, that's something cool. They're getting to be creative, and so it was like inspiring for me. I was like, all right, I needed that, like something
Yeah,
positive going
definitely.
on.
Wolf Lord Lewis, the Primaris captain with Relic Shield, the guy I use, profile pic. Yes, the one and the
Oh,
same.
thank you.
Gaunt's Ghost is good as well. Gaunt's Ghost is amazing. Chris, is that the Apothecary? Uh-oh, I've been found in your live stream. Just popped over here from Twitter and found you two chatting about 40k. Hi, Chris.
Oh, thanks for joining us, Chris. Appreciate it.
I've been
I'm just
brought,
practicing live streaming, so
I've been brought snacks. I'm sorry.
no, enjoy them.
Welsh griddle cakes. Welsh griddle cake. Can't believe that. Is that the Apothecary? Yes, it is. The love for my dudes is that they are all Marines of various chapters, mostly Space Wolves. See, I'm half reading that, and then I'm seeing the my lad bringing the stuff in on the video. Bless him. He's very what's the word? Curious about what goes on. Like he paints, and he's even said like, can I come join you in one of your streams one night, Dad? It's not like I haven't got enough space now on the table. It's like he
Oh,
can
your
sit.
son? I must
Yeah,
have missed that. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Huh. How old?
he's 11.
Oh, right on. Yeah. And don't worry if you chew. I'm not. I don't.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm looking for the mute button, to be honest, mate.
No, I don't even. I'll try to. How do I? No, I don't want to close the stream, so I'm not going to even attempt it. So you have to deal with eating on stream, which I'm fine with. I don't care. It makes it all the more. I haven't even like taught. Good. It stopped me from like having to think about the paint over, and I could just do it and not be worried about, oh, people are watching.
Yeah, I think I've just found the mute button, so I'm going to mute and eat
Oh,
my griddle.
perfect. You can mute for a while. I'll kill some time. I'm good. Enjoy. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee myself. I've played 3. Wolf Lord Lewis says I've played 3 games on ninth as well. I don't even know how the rules work anymore. Like, I'll be still trying to make Terminator save on 3 on 2d6. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Chris Topher, love it. I've already commissioned a paint over. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I couldn't place a name. Chris, I'm sorry. I only recognize like icons now. It's like I knew it before. Oh, that one was really fun to paint over. I liked it. Yeah, and thank you so much for commissioning me. That actually, I really appreciate that.
Big green ambot. Oh
I
yes, the
don't
big.
have. I wish I could pull it up. I got to bring like some files and stuff in here because I could pop them up real nice, but I don't have them loaded yet. And it would be good to have some of them out there so you can like bring them up when they talked about them and stuff. That's why I'm
Yeah,
practicing. Yeah,
yeah, I
thanks
do
a
that.
lot,
I
Chris.
have of doing that on mine, so I have like a separate scene that I can bring up for. So, for example, when you did the paint over for the chapter master, I had him on that screen. And anyone that hadn't seen it, I mentioned it and I brought it up and I was like, there you go, feast your eyes on this.
Oh, that's cool. I know. I have so much to learn. Like, because I can have up to 4 people on this, and there's different ways I can split the screens, and you know what I mean. The different like little pop ups. I was like, okay, you can have these. So I just like just to try stuff out because I'm not used to any of this, and so it was good
So
practice doing this.
it's all exciting though, isn't it? When you're just starting out, it's all there's a certain level of nervousness and there's a certain level of anticipation and excitement. I find.
That I know, and I never wanted to like stream. It was never even something I thought about. Like that's like a half nightmare scenario. You like camera and recording everything, and that just like sounds like a recipe to disaster to me. so,
Yeah,
so that's just funny to me that I'm ending up streaming. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I can show this artwork, and like if people like it and they learn something, like cool. And if not, I'm doing it anyway. So
yeah.
I'm like,
Oh yeah. The first bit of advice I ever got given was just as long do it for yourself.
yeah,
As
yeah.
long as you're enjoying it, that's all that matters.
And
Um,
it's nice like they'll comment in here and it gives me it breaks like the quote unquote loneliness of just sitting by yourself drawing, you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay,
yeah.
it's almost like half social, like someone I can read a comment and talk to it about it and stuff like that. So I was enjoying that.
Hmm. I don't know. I've spent a few nights where I've kind of sat talking to myself, but then again, I see it as what's new.
Yep.
Um, uh, I have kids and cats. Neither listen to their adult.
Yeah.
I was reading that bit of law that Wolf Lord Lewis put up. I'll go back to
He's
that.
got yeah, he's got good stuff.
That all Marines of various chapters, mostly space wolves, that have heard an astropathic call for aid from the Hara. Oh,
Harafinkel? What Harafinkel? I don't know how you pronounce it.
so I can speak a little bit of Scandinavian, and
Oh,
my
really?
dad actually encouraged me finding my own faith. So I'm pagan,
Oh, yeah.
specifically of the Norse variety. So I did actually learn like a bit of Old Norse.
Okay.
Uh, so but that's a strange one. It looks Scandinavian. Har-
Well, I know, and of course it's got to be the space wolves always pull for that. Lehman Russ's battle.
Oh, Lehman
Oh,
Ruff's battle
see,
badge. Oh, got it. Yeah, right. Okay. I can
I'll
never.
remember that. I'll remember the Heffenfrinkel as the battle barge.
Yeah. So you find that they have a lot of silent letters.
Yeah.
Uh, and to be honest, Russ's Battle Barge is one of those ones that I think there's only two audiobooks that mention it,
Hmm.
and they both say it differently. Like one book says it one way, one audiobook says it the other way. So it's really confusing as to which way it's actually said anyway.
I am so bad like remembering names and words. That's gonna be like the most embarrassing thing. I'm like, we would say the word like 5 times, and then like a day from now, I would not remember it. I would be like, "What is the Harfinkel?" I'll remember Harfinkel. Just that. That's it. That's will be it. That's the only name I'll know. Someone will be like, "His space barge." Yeah, the
That's all
Harfinkel.
you get.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I know. They're like names. I'm like, man, I basically will just like remember the Primarchs and stuff, and some other ones, but I'm
Yeah.
just bad with it.
I used to struggle. Like I used to actually struggle with like the Primarchs names. To be fair,
Hmm.
like when I first got into the Hobbit, I was like, the who, the what now?
Yeah. That's
Uh,
what makes it fun, though. It's so big.
Paints everywhere. Paints on me stands. Paints in boxes under the table. Ooh.
You're in the
Ooh.
hobby. I know. I have
Oh,
a right in front of me. I have like a huge. It's almost like an industrial compressor, but it's like a silent run one. And I bought it like I don't even know 6 or 7 months ago now because I was like, oh, I got to paint miniatures. So I bought all this stuff, and it's still all in the box.
oh dear.
I know.
Oh, oh dear. That's
I'm like, my
dude.
pile of shame. I was like, all these like a nice Iowa, whatever was Iowata air compressor, like airbrush, and like I got all these like paints and everything, like the miniatures, and it's just like I have, like the cutting mat, like all kinds of stuff, and it's just like sitting there because it started like I'm doing more and more paint overs and that stuff, so I'm kind of like focused on it. I'm like, but I'll get some. That's why I did Necromunda too, because I figure with like a small squad that has the best chance of getting painted.
Wolf Lord Lewis. All my paints are around my monitor.
Good call.
Yep.
Good call.
Well, unfortunately, mine. Well, not Yeah, unfortunately, mine were also like that at one point, and then Mrs. Miniatures Apothecary came in and went, "Nope, I'm reorganizing this."
Took care of it for you,
Oh yeah,
showed you a better way.
yeah. Well, no, she showed me her way.
Yeah, so it's the better way. It's the
Yeah,
better way.
it's definitely the better way. She found these painting, well, the nail varnish stands.
Okay,
Um,
yeah. Why I don't even know what they are, but I've heard people say something about that before or
they're
something.
really, really good. They're really stable. They're quick to put together. They're cheap.
Yeah, that
And yeah,
always helps.
they do the job, mate. They really do. Because then they're all on display. You're not having to rummage through a box or
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it
each
keeps the
one up.
workflow going.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and especially when you're streaming, it's just like, oh, I need
Yeah.
that one done, and you can just pick it out. So
Yeah,
it's
you
yeah,
can't be like leaving the stream to go rummage through your closet for something.
closet. What closet? I took the damn doors off.
Yeah.
Literally, you can
It's
see
the
it.
addition.
They were
Okay,
doors.
yeah, see, perfect, dude. It's the addition. Moving on up.
Emphasis on the were doors.
Yeah.
Uh, Gloss white doors. I put 3 layers of paint on, and it was still showing. It was like, nah, they're gonna have to
Yeah.
go.
Go.
Wolf Lord Lewis. The Firefly is back on my shelf. Spent another hour swearing, trying to build the
He was
tracks.
the last
No.
couple, he's been making a tank, Sherman, I believe, and
Yeah,
he's on that track part. So I'm like, yeah, I could see piecing together a whole bunch of little pieces of track being a bit tedious.
I love that though. It's like it's swearing at it to swearing. Yeah, swearing, trying to build the tracks to no avail. Time to start on an outrider. That's how it. That's a hobbyist's response right there. Difficult. Up on the shelf you go. I'm going to paint something a lot easier. Don't worry, mate. We've all been there. I know someone who did that with an entire army.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to take that pause and do something else. A
Oh
lot of
God.
times that's why I'll sometimes, like, especially if I'm doing commissions, I tend to, like, I want to do like a couple at a time and I bounce back and forth so that just sometimes your mind will get stuck in a certain way and you might not be seeing something that maybe like an hour or two later you'll look at and see like, hey, I can do this different. That's
Oh
another
yeah.
reason I was like nervous about live streaming. I'm like, oh, like, what if I just want to pause and look at it? You know what I mean? Like, what if I want to give it a half hour? Like, hey, join me.
I
Just
keep
sit around
having.
for a half hour while I stare at this, everybody.
Yeah, I keep stopping to be honest. Like I'm painting these, and I keep stopping to like watch what you're doing, and it's just like it's the paintovers bring models to life. That's what I
It,
honestly feel like they bring them to life.
that's cool. Thank you. And that's really what, because I love everyone's minis, and you're always like I just because I'm a visual person, it's like you always imagine them like in the battle. You know what I mean? And I see these awesome, and it's kind of cool because it's someone else's work. So if like I'm just drawing something, it's like it's all in your mind. But if it's someone else's, you're kind of like it's like bringing someone else to the party. It's like what did they do? Like how are they approaching? Did they put light? Like is that shiny? I wouldn't have thought of shiny. So like there's
Yeah,
all different things, and it's like okay, let me try to like play with that. So I
no, yeah,
really
definitely.
really enjoy
I
it.
mean, we all read these. We read these novels or these audiobooks, and there's these huge battles that go on,
Hmm.
explosions, and you're like, I can just picture some of that, and then
Yeah.
you're like, there's the other bits that you just need that extra bit. You just need that someone else with that other skill to come along and do something that you're doing, and it's like,
Yeah.
bosh, there you go. Have the actual thing. Like,
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad people like just get a kick out of it. It's like, all right, cool. A lot of people like, think the same thing. Like, hey, I want to see it. Just it's like, just those like you said, the big battles and everything going on. Like the 40K is world is like as epic as you get.
Mm.
Yeah.
Martin, yeah, I kind of stopped pin washing my Primaris and ended up building an entire army. Yep. Guess what? Been there too.
Yeah, Martin has a big pile of shame. So
Yeah.
he's got to come to grips with that at some point. It's all stacked nicely, but it's still a pile of shame.
Oh, I may have seen the pretty stacks of piles of shame.
It's like
I've put a fair dint in mine over the last 6 months or so, to be fair.
I consciously, I'm fighting so hard. So there's things I want, and I'm like, dude, you didn't even paint one miniature, man. It's like, pump the brakes. Like, I want to get some. I want a knight, like and I'm like, oh man, because I've been painting them over, and I just love those things, and I want some of the scenery from like Dark Fantastic Mills. I see their stuff and I love the size of it. I'm like, oh man, I want to get some of that, and like you set it up, and like, and then I'm like, I don't even play like the dwarven. So it's for, was it Age of Sigmar, and it's that like floating dwarven fortress thing. I did a paint over one over lava, and I'm like, I want that thing just because it's so cool.
Oh, yes, the frigate.
Caradon or I can't pronounce that either. So
yeah, Caradon Overlords. Yeah, I've got one of them's in my pile of shame.
Because when I had the old fantasy battle book, I had dwarves, so I'm always kind of like, partial to like the dwarf look and everything, and just the concept of like the floating around dwarves. I'm like, yeah, I dig that.
Dude, it's fine. All the best people had dwarves. I had dwarves. Big head. I'm stopping to like look what you're doing at this point, because that's just.
You like it? Does it fit?
I'm loving it. Really am.
Yeah, it's a great mini. Like some of them, they just click better in my mind. Like when I look at it, I'm like, oh, okay, I can. So it's not even if it's like a great pick or a bad pick, or some just they make something in my mind is like, oh, do that, and it's like you can just see this guy after he's been like on the siege or whatever, and he's just like after been firing the gun a bunch. So I want to bring out his eyes a little, and so I'm gonna do another like layer, and I set to multiply. And I want to put a little shade over everything. That's probably too much, but I'm going to erase it again because I want to. You have like a cool glow on his eyes. One thing I wanted to ask: did you put blue below his eye, or is that just catching from like the light? Is there a little blue on this model at all?
How did you guess that?
No, because I was looking, I was like, did he put a stuff? I'm like, I like it. It's like this little effect, and there was somewhere else that I think there was a little blue on this, and I thought it worked really well. And I was like, wow, that's a subtle little touch that I dug.
That's really, I'm surprised you. No one has ever no one's ever like pointed that out or noticed that. So the way I do red eye lenses, corn red, but then I give it it's Drakenhof Nightshade wash, and then I do the lighter red, which is either I'll use what's it called now, Evil Sun Scarlet or Wild Rider. Wild Rider? Yeah, Wild Rider red, and then I've got a small like tiny. It's like it's a dead brush, which I essentially do like a quick dry brush. Just get a bit on and just whip it across the eye lens, and it gives it the shine.
But
I'm really quite impressed that you picked up on the fact that there is actually blue in there, because once the blue dries over the red, you can't tell it's there until you start taking pictures of it. Wow.
And it works. It does that little touch. It does pop the eyes. That's why I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. I'm like, that's a subtle. I was like, did he actually do that? I'm like, that's a subtle little thing to put in there. Give me 1 second. I'm going to leave everything on, but I'm going to go let the dog out. It'll literally take me like 2 minutes.
No worries. I'm gonna speak with the chat.
Here, I'll do this. I'm going to hit time lapse replay on this, and I can watch a quick one while I go. And I'll be right back.
Where did we get to? So the last one I read was Martin with his pin washing. Lewis, it's individual track bits, 83 pieces per tread. Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. You posted a picture up and that looked strenuous, is the word I'm going to use. My pile of shame is the Necron half of Indomitus box and the Assault Intercessors. Oof. I like Assault Intercessors. Oh, the time lapse. That time lapse is really cool. My Kharadron overlords are squigs now. What? What, Martin? My Kharadron overlords are squigs. How did that happen? Sylph, hi, loving the stream. Thank you. My lenses are normally a very thin layer of Tesseract glow. I haven't actually used Tesseract glow yet for the eyes. I haven't actually. There's no Marines I've got with like green eye lenses. So, although saying that, I could use that. So the counterpart to this Iron Warriors model is going to be an Alpha Legion model. I'm thinking I might have to steal that, Lewis. That idea. I made mecha squigs. How have I not seen these? How have I not seen these? That sounds mecha squigs. That sounds awesome. I'm like artist here. I struggle with people when I'm on live streams and stuff because not everyone's names are the same that they are on the Twitter as they are on YouTube or Twitch or whatever. So Martin, if you have me like on Twitter, please tag me. I would love to see that.
Okay.
Lewis, I find it contrasts well with the dark blue grey armor of my dudes. Yeah, I can see why Tesseract Glow would work with that sort of colour scheme. But now you've got me thinking it's like Tesseract, what am I going to be painting or doing a test of at least that I could try Tesseract Glow for the eye lenses. And now you've said it, it's like, I can see an Alpha Legion coming up with Tesseract
Right.
Glow.
I'm back. I stuffed my face with some crackers because my mouth was all from talking. My throat, I'm like, I just need to eat some. I don't even know why your throat is like half dry or something too. I'm like, okay, I'll feed the dog and do that. Cyphus, thanks for joining us. Glad you like the paint over. Wow, we got a couple people here now. Foam Hood, appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. We'll give you the fancy graphic. Oh, I got to practice some. I gotta get them right for fancy graphics.
Like a lot of struggle with
I don't know
people.
what I'm doing. Oh wait, here's the funniest one. I did a graphic the other day for this, and because Wolf Lord Lewis stops in, like I appreciate it, and so I had that with Wolf Lord Lewis. But then if you look to the right, my logo is backwards. I got a 96 instead of AE, and I was thinking, oh yeah,
Oh no.
Martin, the Great Potato Mage, he makes my videos for YouTube, and he's caught like 3 times I put the logo backwards, and he'll be like, "Your logo's backwards on this." So they become the worst.
Oh, brilliant!
What
Deary me.
we got?
It happens though, doesn't it?
Michael Walsh, thanks for coming. Yeah, you free to lurk. Free to lurk.
Lurking.
Please, if you like this, like please hit that like button and stuff. Like that all stuff helps. That helps the little empire grow.
The like button, the like, and the subscribe one.
Yeah, the subscribe one and all that good stuff, I guess.
All the buttons. Press all the buttons.
Press them all. If you see a button,
Press all the buttons.
Press them
Press
all.
the button.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lewis, I think I've got you followed, and you follow me in return on Twitter and Twitch. Yeah, I don't recall seeing the green eyes. But now when I get off when I get back on Twitter later, I will actually go. I'm going to go look now. Like I don't think I noticed them before, but I think I'm going to go look now.
Yeah, and I was like, my thing is, I wish everyone would carry their avatar with wherever they go. Yeah, I'm so bad with the names and everything.
Yeah, I've tried to do that with mine as best I can. Like everything's got the miniatures apothecary on pretty much everything. Mm-hmm. Pressing all the buttons. But I do know some people that have they have different names for like their Twitch or their Twitter or their Facebook. Obviously, Facebook's more personal, isn't it? So it's like their real name, but then you get Twitter and Instagram and everything else, and it's different avatars and different names, and it's like, trying to remember all the names is difficult sometimes. Mm-hmm.
I'll do that. But I remember by paint jobs. I'll literally remember someone's like paint style. Like, oh, you're the one who did that or whatever. You're the one with the hazard stripes.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying to Martin, like he turned some Caradon overlords into mecha squigs, and I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember whether I have Martin on Twitter, because if I haven't seen these, I want to see them.
Yeah, I seen him because he's in my Discord and helps me with the video, and so I think he shared them, but I'm not sure. But they're really cool.
Oh, if he's in the Discord, well, Martin, that's it then. I'm in the same Discord. I'm going to go searching now. Well, not right now, but I will go searching. I just tagged you in a close up of my dude. Oh, thank you, Lewis. Yes, I shall definitely go take a look at them, mate. That sounds really good, and it's giving me ideas. So thank you. Oh wow, those lenses are really glowy.
I don't know how if I like them yet. I'm always skeptical of everything I do. I'm always maybe.
That is looking like that. Like people have said, it looks grimy, and he looks like he's been in a long firefight. But you've
That's
just
what
made it.
that was 40K to me. You know, it's always just grimy. I'm like, I always have dust particles. Like that's all I see. Like there should be no clean air in a 40K world. There's always like something floating in it.
No,
Like,
definitely no.
it's like this is miserable.
Hi, Haley. Oh, it's getting around now.
Haley Wilson, thanks for stopping in.
Martin just tweeted the Mecha Squigs at you. Yes, Mecha Squigs. I look forward to checking those out. I am really just like mesmerized right now at this, like how much more detail goes into it, like all the extra.
But see, that's the thing. So like on free one, we're chatting and I'm adding. So like free paint over day, you know, I try to do them quick, and part of it was just work fast, and it was like overcome like fear of failure. You know, I'm like, man, some of these just aren't going to look good, and I'll have to do it in public and make stuff that doesn't look good and deal with it. You know, like it's like so even if it doesn't look good, so it's like okay, do it fast, and then I used to be like, oh, I want to like draw something perfect or paint it perfect, and it was like, God, it was like such a waste of time because you get better faster for me at least by just doing it and moving on. It's like do the next one, like do this next, and just keep going and keep. And so like I said, this is probably over 300 and some of these by now, just in the since like last March, you know. So it's just like okay, just keep going, and that's why I was like, I want to try like live streaming. I'm like, I can do the same thing if I'm drawing all these like just live stream it, and if someone wants to stop by, cool. You know, it's like if no one stops by, cool. You were doing it by yourself, not talking to anyone anyway.
Yeah, totally. No, I get that. Yeah, if I weren't streaming, I'd still be sat here painting, regardless.
Yeah,
absolutely, regardless. I mean, I'm kind of admiring to a certain extent. I'm kind of admiring my own. So
for sure,
the autocannon where the hand is.
Yeah.
Above it, there's this metal rod which joins to the other one. They're actually the arm and the autocannon are separate pieces. I had to bits batch from a broken heavy bolter, heresy era heavy bolter that I've got kicking around. So the hand with that rod on the top and the arm and the autocannon are all separate, and I'm just sort of looking at the join and how well that came out because I was worried that
it is nice. Like sometimes I'll do that. It's like, oh wow, that part did come out nice, and like because you're not even seeing it at the time. You're like, it's cool when you do something that you're like, hey, I like it.
Yeah, it works. It looks like it's there.
I pulled it off.
Oof, Lord Lewis, I wouldn't try trolling my account for photos right now, as I've been doing a lot of Twitter-based RP. I'm sorry, Twitter-based RP. I like RP. D&D, WFRP, Pathfinder. What's your poison?
I think D&D was like my first foray into whatever, you know what I mean? Like kind of like role playing or like you could tabletop with the minis and stuff. So it's kind of like not the same, but you know what I mean? Just that kind of.
Yeah. I started with a group when I was younger. There was about 8 of us. We were quite a large group, and we started with D&D, and then we all sort of grew apart. Started with another group. Ooh, more food. Sorry.
No, dude, never. I don't have to apologize for anything. Like life happens. This is like an impromptu stream for anyone joining us. I never, besides like tweeting him a few times, I never like spoke to him, and so and I forget. What's even worse, I forgot his name even now. So, so I don't remember the
Just
name.
random that sat on a camera
Yeah,
watching
and I was just
over.
like, he could just join us. So I was just like, okay, we'll do an impromptu stream. So welcome to the stream of two people who never talked to each other before.
I have a so we in this household, generally speaking, we are a Warhammer household. Like I paint 40k predominantly. My son
Yeah.
does Age of Sigmar. My partner does Age of Sigmar.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
and yeah, so we're very 40k Warhammer orientated as it is. And then I started doing the streaming, so it's like, well, what's the point in like me just doing it? It's like I
Yeah.
don't mind coming in and bringing stuff to me, or the amount of times that I've said something and Mrs. Apothecary has shouted from the next room or stuck her head in the door to say hello. It kind of it emphasizes that feeling of family and
Yeah,
that we
I
are
have
one
no like
family.
if I'm watching someone stream that, I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not like watching a movie. Pretty, you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't matter
Yeah,
to me. Like, hey, if someone comes
it
in,
shouldn't be
whatever,
scripted.
I'm just hanging out basically.
Yeah, it shouldn't be scripted. Life is life, and it shouldn't. It's never scripted. Um, if I was to do like a serious, like pure mental health stream,
Yeah,
or like I'm recording for a YouTube video or something, then yeah, fair
yeah,
enough.
that's a little
But
different.
when it comes to Twitch and live stream and stuff like that, it's you can't script it. You can't say, "Don't come in the room. Don't bring me anything. Don't offer me a
Hmm.
drink," because I mean, like I said, I mean he's 11. He's curious. He wants to
Yeah,
know.
yeah. He probably hears you talking and all that. So yeah.
Yeah. He hears me talking. He hears me laughing. Wolf Lord Lewis. And like the only time I leave my room is for food and walks. 40K RP, RN, my D&D group stopped during lockdown 1 and then started up again. Yeah, that's rough. I think I've managed to get in a couple of sessions, purely and simply because we've got a support group, our support bubble. When we've not been in like full lockdown or tier 3, we've managed to get a
Mhm.
couple of sessions in. But we mostly do like WFRP, so Warhammer Fantasy
Oh, you
Roleplay.
do that one? Okay.
Yeah,
I
but
had the book, never played it.
I know that I can run you through how to build a character like it was written on the back of my hand, quite
That's my
literally.
thing with those games. I just recently bought the Soulbound book, and not even thinking I would ever play, but I love making characters in those games. So I was like, I just literally want to do it. Like, hey, what would my character be if I made one, and how would I do the stats? And I opened the book. I think I flicked through it, not even 30 seconds, and I saw, I can't pronounce the name again, the dwarven, the Caradun or Caradon. I can't even say it, but I saw
Caragon.
that. Yeah, and it's the
Yeah.
Sky Rigger, and it was like the guys who like fix those ships. I'm like, oh, that would be my character. And so then I guess like, so I just want, like I sit around and draw, and then I just imagine adventures for my Sky Rigger guy, and that's me playing a role playing game. It's just like sitting drawing, and like, okay, my guy's gonna play his role playing game. What's he doing right now? Let's check in.
Full disclosure, I got to a point where I had to uninstall like Skyrim off my Xbox because I literally just do it. You had it just to do character creation.
Yeah.
Downloaded all the mods, cheat room, and everything else just to create and visualize a character.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think when I finally uninstalled it, I had 22 characters saved. And I've been really tempted during lockdown to reinstall it just for the character creations.
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem. Oh dear, that is looking absolutely brilliant. I was looking at it the other day, like just sat wondering whether I should do anything different with it. To be honest, kind of coming up with some lore and stuff, like its own little
Yeah,
background.
yeah.
And now you've done this, it's just made it, yeah, it's just made it so much easier to like make up a bit of story for this one model. Wolf Lord Lewis, I'm like that with XCOM 2. Yeah, I've heard that's very much the same, isn't it? The modern community for XCOM is brilliant, and there's so much you can do with it.
I actually have that game on this iPad, and because I love the original XCOM, that was one of my all-time favorite games, and I'm I'm maybe like a third of the way into it. I'm just bad with games. I I can play games if they're like if I can get a game in like 5 or 10 minutes. Because like the only way I really play, like I play for maybe like 20 minutes now or something. If I play and it's like hop in, play a couple games of something, and then I'm good. Like
Yeah.
so when I play the RPG-ish type things, or even that which isn't really RPG, but like I forget where I'm building my base and what I'm trying to achieve. And if I go back a week later, I'm like, where was I? What was I doing with this guy? Why did I put
Where
that
did I
piece
leave
of
my base?
armor over there? And like, what was I researching? And then I'm just like, oh, forget it. You know, it's like I can't even. And so that's where I'm at in my gaming right now.
Oh, I don't do as much as I used to. I do. Occasionally, I can have stints where it's just like I really need to
Mm-hmm.
just like go online, and someone in like mainland Europe or America needs to take some of my frustrations
Yeah,
off.
no, there's for real. Like,
You
yeah,
know,
you know, any of those games where like I used to play a lot like first person shooters. Like, okay, we'll go play a couple games, shoot some avatars, and like run around, and then okay, back to. And so I like
yeah,
that. I used to play. What was funny is I would do it sometimes in the morning when I would wake up, just play a few games because the speed of it all woke my mind up. And it would literally be like, okay, if I just play some games, you like, you know, you get that fast twitch thing and everything's going on. You're watching. I'm like, okay, that like really woke me up. It was like morning coffee.
yeah. I've tried that actually, and I have to agree with you. Wake up in the morning, get a coffee, stick Battlefield 1 on, and
Yeah, play a couple, and then you're like
creating
awake.
conflict match, and all of a sudden the first grenade that goes off in your face, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm awake now. Right, fucking load, ready to go.
Gosh, this
Uh,
miniature is cool.
does that get rid of my camera?
Yep, you're cameraless right now.
Right. I'm gonna go cameraless while I'm eating.
Oh, you're perfect. That works. And we'll call it a little bit longer or whatever, and then we'll call it good. So then, because I don't even know what time it is by you. It's got to be kind of late. I don't even know where you're at.
UK.
All right, yeah.
People are paying you compliments in your chat.
Oh, I should look. Well, thank you for compliments. I still can't sidetrack my brain yet. This looks blooming awesome. Thank you, Haley. Appreciate it. Wolf Lord Lewis. I do love the old XCOM. Was never around when it was first released, but still love it. Yeah, it's a great. It's a frustrating game. What programming are you using to do the paint over? Cyphus, I am using Procreate right now. So I'm Procreate on an Apple iPad, and the program I'm using to connect is Switcher Studio, which I finally it worked really well. So I'm fingers crossed that keeps going. Thank you, Wolf Lord Lewis, for answering because I neglected people. I'm not used to anyone watching. Slightly, but that's what I would use Hitman for. Nothing
I
removes
was
stress like
just
dropping.
about to comment on Martin's thing, then slightly sociopathic.
I know. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. Remind me not to upset Martin.
No, I think everybody needs to deal with video games. Just like take out all the frustration and yeah. Well, yeah, for real. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm gonna finish up a few lighting things on here and tweak some stuff, and then we'll call it a stream in a little while. I'm gonna keep going with this thing because I gotta do some more. And I'm glad many of you are enjoying it. It's a lot of fun interacting with you all. It breaks the monotony of sitting and drawing alone. Plus, I learn a lot. I have like people to chat with, and I'm like learning all the lore and catching up with everything. So, works good. Work and learn at the same time. Welcome back.
I finished stuffing my face with Welsh griddle
See, okay,
cakes.
you did that. I had crackers. I'm like, I gotta have something.
Nom, 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 nom.
No, like come back. I'm like, okay, there's no mic on my face, so you won't see crackers on my teeth, so I'm good. Let's go.
Yeah. It's weird though, because you go from using the laptop I was using, which the mic on that was was okay, but the one I've got now, it picks up everything. A mouse could fart in the opposite room, in the opposite end of the room, and it'd pick it up.
See, I don't know where I'm at with it. It didn't bother me, but now after my mic stand fell, the phone that I'm talking on is closer, so I'm probably like way too loud or catching way too much stuff. And what's funny is I did a bunch of live streams. I did not even go back and listen. I was like, I don't even want to know what it sounded like. I don't even want to, like, and so I finally did, like, just the other day. I'm like, oh, let me listen to a live stream so I can like come to grips with what I sound like and whatever. And I was like, all right.
I'm dreading I'm dreading putting like editing my first videos for YouTube because I hate the sound of my own voice when it's recorded.
I
Really
had to get over it. I'm just like, to me, I always sound like nasally. I think everyone, you're used to yourself hearing in your head, you know what I mean? So it's different. I'm like, whatever. If I sound like a clown, then so be it. Like, I have a clown voice. Like,
oh, no,
I'll deal with it.
I can't put my finger on it. It's just like, I hate the sound of my own voice. Especially when it's coming through like speakers, like recordings and stuff like that. Is like,
yeah.
Cringe.
Yep.
What's this Wolf Lord row you got with that one, Martin? I think he shocked me. Martin shocked me with that one. Hitman. Remind me never to upset Martin and then play Hitman.
Would you do a Slanesh paint work thingy, like a paint over? Haley, do you mean a paint over on Slanesh, or were you talking to?
Would you do a Slanesh paint work thingy? I don't know which one. Haley, who are you referring to here? Give her a minute; she'll catch up.
Yeah, we were a little ahead.
You get used to it eventually. Martin, I'm completely and utterly sincere when I say this. I am of the mindset of what does not kill me gives me really bad coping mechanisms. We're fine, mate. Don't worry. It was just like, sociopathic, but I use Hitman to take out my aggression. It's like, wow, okay, I've never heard that one before.
But it's effective.
But it's effective, yeah, clearly, yeah. I having played the game, yeah, that's effective.
It does work.
Okay. He's looking absolutely. So in a couple of months, when I've got the contrast paint sorted and I've done the counterpart to this model, which will be the Alpha Legion, do you want to do that one as well? And we can have them side by side.
If that time comes, we'll find out. But
oh yeah.
I'm
going to try and make a stance that looks like they're facing off against each other.
I know. I got to do some more of those versus ones. I was like doing the ones where people are like, I did a couple where it's like two different miniatures from two different people and fighting, Yeah. Okay. No, Haley. Yes, absolutely. No, I would. I've done some Slanesh ones. Let me see real quick. Oh, that Zinch. That's all that. That's all that.
Sorry, I'm just reading Wolf Lord Lewis. A sense of humor is like mine, Martin. Very grim and stupid jokes. For example, saying I use is when in doubt, invade Poland. You sound like a friend of mine, Lewis, called Danny, and he's very much the same. I think that's his saying as well for the most part. I'm going to say you have done a Slanesh.
I've done quite a few probably by now.
Yeah.
I did that one. We'll do a quick let that one play out. I'm still learning as I go. I can't even believe like 8 people are like watching right now.
Right, you heard him. He said only 8. Let's get it up to 18. Come on, like, share, retweet, get it out.
Too many people. Like 8 feels like more than the room can handle. I'm like, all right, that's like massive to me. Other people are like, oh, I only got 8 people. I'm like 8. I'm like, wow, this is like crowded. Like a lot of people are watching me. Like.
Oh, dude, I get excited if there's like 2. So don't worry.
That's why I'm simple like that. I'm like, man, if I have someone to talk to or just whatever, so I'm good.
Well, sometimes that's all it takes when you're doing live stuff is that one person to sit there. And
and it helped. Like I had Wolf Lord Lewis on, I think it was yesterday, and we chatted. I'm like, okay, this I could see how this could work, and I was like, I have to practice. Like I know I have to practice, and I have to like just keep. I'm the type of person who can fall out of practice fast. So it's like, well, I'll
Mm.
see if I can get someone on today. I'm like, I feel like I have the energy in the afternoon to do it. And then when you came on, like that helps. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I enjoy this. So I'm like, okay, I can see how it would work if, people are talking and I'm doing a paint over, and it just gets me more comfortable with it. So thank you for joining me, actually.
Mm. No, you're more than welcome, mate. And like I said, like I finished my tea, looked at my phone, and went, "Oh, I'm in." Like
And plus, I
totally.
figure, if someone's watching, they can show off. Someone who does this, they can show off and talk about their miniature or whatever, and just have fun
Yeah,
with it and see how the sausage gets made.
yeah, yeah. But it was literally that. It was just like I saw it and I was like, I read it out to Mrs. Apothecary, and it's just like, I'm going in the painting room. Bye.
Bring
Like
snacks.
I'm in. Bring snacks. Bring Welsh girdle cake.
I gotta go.
I gotta go. Bring Welsh girdle cakes. Nom nom nom. Oh dear. Slaanesh, my favourite, looked awesome.
Oh, cool. Glad you like that. Haley Wilson, Martin Peel. Yeah, you've done a few. You've done a bunch of Curiosity. Oh yeah, Curiosity Knights has the.
Oh, the knights.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Knights are some of my favorite models because of the scale. Like
Mm,
more smoke, more haze, more sparks. Like I always just imagine these lumbering things with just like sparks falling. I'm like, go gaudy. I'm like, apparently
yeah.
I'm gaudy. Like I'm always like, yeah, keep things simple and you want, and then I just go gaudy with everything. Like throw sparks, throw more smokes, throw dirt, throw it all.
Wolf Lord Lewis. Yesterday I was researching all over the place as we were chatting to show off random models of mine.
I like
Lord
that
Metal
too.
Man. Hey up, Metal Man.
It was funny. I tested this one time with Martin, and the first time I can bring up to 4 screens. And so he's actually a video editor who does the videos I have for YouTube. So it's great
Mm,
having him around who's got a lot of knowledge. And he had 2 cameras. So we put 2 cameras, we put like one on me, one on the tablet, one on him, and then like one on a side angle of him. So you could do like, it'd be like 2 cameras on each with like, where I'm like, overkill it, man. I'm like, I want to see what this thing could do. It's like everyone's got 2 cameras on them, and it was pretty funny. But I was impressed with the switching software because it handled it all good. And like even
mm.
calling in, it wasn't too hard logging in, was it? Nothing tricky.
No, it was. I was kind of, well, like I said, I was a little bit nervous because wasn't sure. I've not used this before, so I was like,
Yeah.
um, how is this going to work? Do I
Yeah.
need to? Because I haven't really set up my YouTube or anything yet
Yep.
properly. I mean, it's there, it exists. It's just not working.
Yeah. Yep.
So when I got the invite, I was like, oh, 1 click, 2 click, 3 click, join,
Okay.
done.
Good. No.
That
Perfect.
was seamless. Martin, I must go stream. The internet needs me. Da, 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 da.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's me when it comes to Thursday. Thursday is very much the internet needs me. Streaming. Woohoo!
Is Thursday your streaming day?
Thursdays and Sundays.
Okay. Cool.
7:30 for about 7:30 onwards for about 3 hours. In
Oh,
fact,
really?
yeah. I enjoy it. Like I
Good.
enjoy painting. I enjoy the streaming. I enjoy the socializing aspect. And obviously, with lockdown, a lot of people are hindered in the sense
Mm-hmm.
that they can't socialize. So streaming's the next best thing.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. I start and I go for as long as I can push it. Same goes for Wednesday nights. We run a Discord paint
Yeah,
session.
that's where I stopped by and seen you because I'm in your Discord. So I
Mm.
watched, and I'm always like a half lurker anyway. I'm like, and so I watched. It's like, oh, cool, and that's how I ended up when you submitted the pick. I was like, wait, I saw his stream, so that's why I was like, well, maybe you can stop on as a guest because you've done it before,
Yeah. Like I said, it's enjoyable. It really is. What's this?
Hey, Lord
Oh,
Metalman,
all right. Ask
thanks for
him
joining
if
us.
you remember me. Lol. Of course. How can we forget you? Anyone hit with the snow heavy today? No, and I'm very disappointed at the lack of snow. Oh,
We had
Lord.
a little today. We
I
had
stream
some.
how long my laptop can last without starting to get very
Yeah, that
hot.
makes me wonder if my tablet's gonna be. No, I still should have a little bit.
Yeah. It's the issue when using devices that aren't like properly set up for streaming and stuff is that heat.
Yeah,
I had the same thing with my laptop. It's the risk we run, unfortunately.
yeah.
Um,
I'm sure it's rough on some equipment for sure.
oh yeah, definitely. Martin, it's not stopped snowing here in Berlin for 4 days.
Oh,
The
really?
knowledge
You got yeah.
has been going. I've
Scotland got
seen quite a
snow.
few pictures from Scotland and Wales, and they've got like the best snow. And like I'm in the middle. We've got like nothing. It's dead boring. I'm
We
such a
get
fan.
we get a good amount. I like winter, but I wish it was like a little short. Like I love the change of seasons, but it's like it's almost like it's 2 months too long. Where it's kind of like
Mm,
I wish it was shorter. You know, I'm like I love fall and the nice cool weather and stuff, but I'm like yeah, winter drags a bit.
yeah. Wolf Lord Lewis. I mean, it's RimWorld with 245 mods installed, so it's a lot for my laptop to pro. That poor
Oh yeah.
laptop. Oh my days, 245 mods. Man, are you insane?
What did I just do? Okay.
More. Lord Metal Man, they cost so much more than a high-end gaming PC. Yeah, yeah, they can do in the long run. I mean, I was quite lucky. We found this tower for a reasonable price, and then the rest of the equipment just came over Christmas.
In the same area in the UK, yeah.
Yeah,
I was only the UK once. I was the UK once. I was all happy because as a kid I'd be all jealous because there was actually Games Workshop stores in the UK. We didn't have anywhere like near me. So I was always like, they don't know how lucky they have it. Like you can just go to the store and buy all this stuff, and we have to like wait for some little supplier guy who had like two of some obscure model, and it's like, oh gosh, they're
no,
I'm looking at
no.
a white dwarf and it's like these stores and they're stocked and people, and I'm like scrounging through like two miniatures. I'm like, oh man.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
that's so. I'm
I don't
lucky
know how
because
good you had it.
yeah, well, I sort of sit smack bang in between. So from where I am, over one hill, I've got one GW shop, and over the other hill, there is another Games Workshop.
Oh, seriously?
Literally 2 minutes round the corner is a small sweetie shop, but they've recently started stocking Warhammer. And then over the other hill behind us is my sponsor and his little independent. So I'm kind of smack bang in the middle of
Yeah.
four. So yeah, I sorry guys, I'm quite lucky in that regard.
Wait, what is some people saying? People are talking. I'm not used to that part yet.
Yeah,
Was
people are talking. It's weird. Let them sometimes. It's fine, dude. Don't worry. It's fine. Just let them talk amongst themselves. Sometimes it's just easier.
use snow days for work to do some painting. Snow days. I miss snow days as a kid. It
Not
was
everyone's
cool.
saying.
Did you catch the Kriegsman stream yesterday? No, I did not. I don't watch too many streams, but I have been trying to catch more and more. So I stopped by and just see what people are like, especially painting ones. Like I dig that because I learned from a lot of those. And Haley Wilson, think you can ever snow days work off work if you work from home? Absolutely, I think you can.
Totally.
Like
Totally.
sometimes you just needed to cope with it.
I caught, so going to what Metalman said, I did catch some of Kriegsman's stream the other day, but unfortunately I was in the middle of making tea. I was having some connection issues, but I am going to try and catch him for the next one. I try and catch, like, there's a variety of streamers who I know now since doing it myself.
Yeah.
And I try and catch each and every one of them. because I find it's a common courtesy. Like they've come and seen mine, I go see that. But these are people that I've become friends with. Like they're
Yeah,
not just
yeah, yeah.
some random. They're not just some random
Hmm.
username. So it's like I've become friends with these people. So it's like, yeah, well, go see them, go sit, chill out while I'm painting, just like they do with me.
Well, see, that's it. I was always used to like, kind of total silence with, even drawing. Like I didn't even listen to much music, right? I mean, like literally just like focus. But and that's what. So sometimes I play some audio books, and then sometimes I was doing that. A couple of the like, YouTube shows. I was like, okay, let me get more in the habit of just listening to them, because a lot of times I'll like it and get that like same creative energy from it. So I have been listening and watching more and more.
Yeah. So what was this? My local shop is gone now thanks to COVID. Oh, sad face. Load of
Yeah.
GW Glasgow. So who is your sponsor? So my sponsor is Murfield Miniatures, based in Murfield in Yorkshire. I found him a couple of years ago. I got handed a leaflet, literally randomly on the street. Like someone handed me a leaflet, and we turned it over. And as we turned it over, it said Warhammer for pocket money prices. And I went in and I fell in love. I was like, oh, there's
That's
just
cool.
bits. There's like bits and secondhand models and
Oh, is that
oh,
kind of place that has like the awesome
oh,
bits? That's my kind of like, yeah.
absolute hidden gem, mate. Like seriously, like if anyone ever finds themselves in West Yorkshire and wants to go visit the place, my advice is go, because you'll not regret it. It's like everywhere else is just like it's an independent that stocks Warhammer. He's one of the only places I know that sells secondhand models,
Yeah.
and just his stock is just there's I'm actually going to go do a COVID friendly visit in a couple of weeks, so there'll be a little video goes up with me drooling over everything. Wait, you're from Yorkshire as well? I'm in Hull for uni, but from Stamford Bridge. Well, hey, right, well, if artist doesn't mind, Murfield Miniatures, look them up, go visit when lockdown.
No, you're like anyone can chill. I'm like, I'm a nobody. I'm like, you can chill, do whatever. Especially if it's something good. Like I see that's like, even I don't care if I like something, I'll talk about like, like the Switcher stream thing I used to stream. I'm like, hey, I'll bring it up, or whatever, because it works. So if it's something I like and I enjoy, I'm like, go for it. I'm about
No,
like spreading the love. Wait for
it's all
Yorkshire.
about the hobby love. How far is that from Calderdale? It's classed as essential travel to go mini shopping, right? Yes, it is. Yes, Michael, it is.
Yes.
Dude, that's looking absolutely amazing. I'm yeah.
I'm glad you appreciate it. That was a
Absolutely
great
amazing.
mini. I was like, okay, I get it. Like the thing that gets me on some of these, it's like your photo too. So it was painted, and then you have that, like I was talking about earlier, you got the lighting. So there's
Mm,
a little shadow on his arm, there's shadow on his leg. So it's something I can kind of play into, and it's like easier on my mind. Like some of the ones that like if you just took an example, like a photo from Games Workshop itself, they're really trying to show off the actual mini, so their lighting is all around, where in real life nothing's ever lit totally around. You know what I mean? You have shadow, and so it makes a better paint over if you have something that's not like the perfect photo. Usually, you can do it, but it's like it's also fun to have a little shadow and just a little bit in there to like really add to it and accentuate. So that's why this one is like, I really liked it.
you've really captured this sort of, especially with like the extra smoke that you've got coming out of the exhaust ports. You've got this, I don't know, kind of overworked.
Yeah.
Like really looks like that power pack is working hard to
Yeah.
keep him going. Like he's been like man, he's ready for dropping, but that power pack's not giving up yet.
I know
Oh,
that gun looks so sweet. I love that thing.
that looks so. I need to get some more of these now. Now you've done that, that's like, yeah, that's it. That's sold it. Next year,
And that's
we're
what
having. 7
that's what
grand.
feels good about these is like if someone gets inspired and they're like, oh hey, I like that. I'm like, okay, cool. Like that's what I like. That's like the whole thing. It's like, yeah, I could do this and whatever. It's just a new way to look at them. And some
Yeah,
people they don't. I have a lot of experience with like the graphic side of stuff and the art, so it's like it's just to add it to someone because. Like I try not to like mess with anyone's miniature, really. You know what I mean? I want to show off like their paint. Like I like them, so it's like I want to show them off. So it's like, all right, try to do it and not take away from them. But yeah, I dig
yeah.
this thing a lot. I
No,
think we, for an impromptu live stream, I think we did pretty good.
yeah. I think we've done. I think we've done really good. You're gonna have to. We're gonna have to switch next time, though. You're gonna have to come join me for one of mine.
I would do that. I could figure
Yeah.
that out. I have to see, but then the whole thing, like, I was laughing the other day. I'm like, oh man, like, you went on stream. And like, oh yeah, he's all shaved and looks sharp. I'm like, man, I have to be like shaving before I come on. I'm all like scruffy. Like, I'm sitting like in a lazy boy chair, like half curled up. I'm like, I need a spot where I don't look like all. So yeah. So when I get that straightened out, I'm definitely gonna join somebody's. Well,
Yeah.
with Wolf Lord Lewis, I do like the idea of a power packed work twist. Yeah, so do I. And I usually
Absolutely.
put, if they have the side vents or anything showing, like I almost want to put sparks. I almost right here. I'll show you. I want to do, but see, I'm always like the type. I always like don't want to overwork everything because I'm like I want to put sparks. This thing, I think there's blue. Is there a little blue on this part right here too?
Which part?
You'll see it light up in a second.
What was that? Metalman asks artist watch the Paint Slingers Parade video, or did he quit after his intro?
No, I actually watched quite a few of those. Yeah,
We'll go
you had
with
a
that.
lot of cool minis in those. I like I see blue right there, and I like it.
Ooh. No, I don't think there was any. I think that might just be the
No,
lighting.
just the
That much blue.
lighting. Yeah, I couldn't tell on
Yeah.
that one. I was like, but like little spots like that on these armor, I always want to put like extra sparks and whatever. And I keep
Mm.
like usually it's like okay, call it done and don't like keep going because I'm like I like the little bit like his eyes, the extra glow, and then I do like too the smoke coming out of the like the pack. I'm like okay, that like it makes it look like the equipment's working to me. So I'm like okay, and I was like all right, I'll put some of the sparks pouring out of the barrels. Like okay, this dude was just shooting a lot. You got that gun, you're gonna be shooting some heavy stuff.
Yeah. Well, the sort of the actual jagged when you zoomed in then on that one spot, so the really jagged sort of lighter edges that you can see. I think the reason why it might look blue is because I use granite steel
Okay.
for both the battle damage and the highlights. Because obviously
Yeah.
Iron Warriors they had a metallic color scheme.
Oh, it's
But
probably what
when
it
the
is
armor's
because it looks metallic.
yeah, but when the armor's fabricated, it's metallic. So trying
Yeah.
to get the differentiate there, trying to get it to look like there's a difference between the paintwork and the actual metal work underneath. I was like,
Oh,
okay,
that's cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, good. It's cool to hear someone how they think through it, like especially painting the minis. You know what I mean? That's a cool.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah,
love what you've done with this. This is brilliant, and
appreciate
it's
it.
like
Yeah, and I'll send you. I got the file. When I'm all done, I'll send you so you can
yes,
use it for whatever or whatever.
oh
So,
definitely.
and
Think about
everybody,
how much.
thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you stopping by the stream and leaving some feedback. I'll try to make it better. I don't know about the microphone. I'll have to re-listen to this and see how it all went. So
Does the live ones they don't stay up, do they? They come off.
no, I leave mine up. I'm just like, man, leave them. I'm like, I'll deal with. I'm like, it's like come to terms with the fact of I'll have stuff online and like I don't even know what like the fear of. I don't even know what the fear is. Just streaming stuff. Like, just leave that stuff up. Leave your voice, whatever dumb stuff you said, and like deal with it. Like don't look back. Keep going. I'm like, you'll say more dumb stuff and whatever. So
I do like the idea of. Oh, you read that. Metalman's thinking of doing another Paint Slingers Parade, and Tom loved the painting composition of this one.
Yeah,
to
thank you. It was the composition of like the model and the stuff too, like really helped. So I was like, all right, try to play into that, and I try to pick ones that for a live stream I get nervous as it is, and so it's like, okay, like, pick one that my mind thinks I can pull off well. There was like
mm,
one, someone had like a Titan, and it like had these shelves and everything back. I was like, oh, I could make a city out of that, and then I'd be like, oh man, I'm gonna be like on live stream, half panicking and like pull the plug.
it does. I've really enjoyed this, mate. Thank you for inviting me,
Oh, no
and
problem. Thank
thank
you
you
for
for picking
stopping
my
by,
picture as
and
well.
this worked
That's
out great for just two random dudes.
yep.
All right,
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
shut this down now. Thanks for joining us, and I think that's really it. This will be up on YouTube, and I'm gonna be doing these like a lot. Like I don't have any set schedule. It's kind of like when I have energy. So I'm gonna try, just get more and more of these out there. So please like and share this. I'm trying to get eventually, if you get 1,000 subscribers, I can live stream directly from my iPad to YouTube without all the stuff. Even though I'm liking Switcher, I want the Switcher Studio as the app I'm using to do this. It's being good so far, so I'm happy with it. But the other one, I was using Streamlabs and it was booting me out like all the time. It was driving me crazy. And then I found this and it worked. So it's like, oh my God, I think I paid $39 a month just to do it. But I'm like, well, I'll stream a lot. And then like that way it's kind of worth it. So
Mm.
it's Miniature Apothecary. Plug yourself for your social media, dude. Make sure
Oh,
you
plugging. I will do when something works. Something work.
yeah.
Plug. Bosh. That should
Thank you,
work.
Foam Hood. Appreciate it.
Bye, Haley.